Got it. All right. So I totally want to be like, and we're back with another. Okay. Because I definitely am inspired. Let me see. There he is. All right. So if you're just joining us, we do live stream on my YouTube. Okay, so let me share my screen and let's do a run through. I guess I need to check to make sure these things are working. I'm under the impression that this is College Algebra 1 right here, this one, section 11, right? So when you log into Blackboard, this is the landing page, right? So Blackboard is going to be our central hub for everything that we're doing, right? So let's just start with the syllabus. I think that's a great place to start. If we have stragglers, I'll check attendance again around 2:15. At least that's my intent. All right. So I'm just pulling this directly from Blackboard. You should be able to access this. And feel free to unmute yourself if you have questions or anything of that nature. If it gets to be too much, then I'll just suppress that feature. But for right now, it's fine. So this is College Algebra 1, correct? And, keep me honest. Don't just take my word for it. College Algebra 1, HMTH 105, Section 11. This is without the lab, so there's no lab. I am Professor Phifer, right? So I'm just trying to make sure that we're in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing with the right intent, right? With the right action and everything. And my email is my first name, last name, at morehouse.edu. Email is fine to contact me, but it's not the best way to communicate with me. I'm really bad about checking emails because I'm trying to live my life and not lose my mind, trying to keep up with whatever little bit of mind I have left, trying to keep up, trying to answer all these emails, right? But I do encourage you to email me, and I use that more so for record keeping, right? So it's just sitting there a lot of times, and at least it's on file. But the best way to communicate with me is the way you are right now, is being in attendance during this session. The way I run my course, so this is remote asynchronous, right? By asynchronous, what I mean is you're not required to be in attendance. All I need you to do is to show up each day and get your attendance credit. But if you need to leave, or for whatever reason, you don't have to explain, you can leave at that point. But to get attendance credit, you just get into my Zoom, right? I just need you to check in so that I know that you're alive, you're kicking, you're well. Just check in just to make sure you're okay. But all of the lectures are already recorded and they're already available on my YouTube channel. All the assignments for the entire semester are available. You can access all the assignments right now on Pearson. I'll show you how to access that a little bit later on. But you can honestly finish all the assignments now, and then the only thing you're going to be waiting for are the exams. The exams are released periodically throughout the semester. I generally live stream my sessions to my YouTube channel. I'll show you how to access it. My YouTube is Beautiful Mind Phifer. I'll show you how to access a couple of those links. And you're at one point you're going to be prompted to. So we'll get there momentarily. But yeah, this is remote asynchronous. Again, all this required of you is every time we meet, just make your way into my Zoom. Once you get into my Zoom, I take attendance as I let each student into Zoom, right? So that's why I was doing it one by one. I take attendance at that moment. So once you got an attendance credit, you're not obligated to stay, you can leave. Because this is remote asynchronous, I decided to go ahead and use class time as office hours, right? So that's 50 minutes twice a week where I know that you're free and I'm free, and you can ask me whatever questions, right? So that you don't have to try to schedule and, this, that, and the other. If you have questions, you come to class with questions. And we could talk about anything pertaining to this course. I mean, any homework assignment, any quiz, or any exam, right? So if you're working on something, we can work on it together during class. There's only so much that we can do together during class. But I don't mind doing it, right? I don't mind. My phone, I think, is basically Zoom. So just during class, during Zoom is the best way to reach me. You made it into the Zoom session, so you're good to go there. Again, office hours are during class time. We meet Mondays and Wednesdays from 2 to 2:50. Now, feel free to attend my other sessions as well. Not only with you guys, but I also have like a 9 o'clock session. And I'm also on the same Zoom from 1 to 5, right? It ends at 5. And the course runs from today until December 9th, 2022. That December 9th is a hard deadline for all assignments. I can't push any assignment past that deadline, right? And, we'll talk more about due dates and things of that nature. So you made it into my Zoom, and we talked about office hours being during class. There are two types of people in this world, those that believe they can and those that believe they cannot. Both of them are correct. Which one are you? All right. So if you believe you can do something, you're absolutely right. If you believe you can't do something, you're absolutely right. You see what I'm saying? It's all up to you. So let's pause for the cause right there. Are there any questions? All right. And I think you should be able to unmute yourself if you have questions. Else, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Okay. So this is just like an overview of what we're going to be talking about. So this is College Algebra 1. All right, so here. So this is College Algebra 1 without the lab, right? So the red part you can ignore, right? So I just forgot to remove that for you guys. That red part in the syllabus, you can ignore all of that. Your grade is basically going to be the purple part, right? So 10% of your grade comes from homework, 10% comes from quizzes, 60% is 3 exams worth 20% each, and then the final worth 20%. Now, with our assignments, again, all homework and quizzes are available right now. It's only 20% of your grade, but it's all available. You get unlimited attempts at all assignments. The due date for each assignment is already there right next to the assignment. Also, all assignments have an automatic extension built into it, where you can work on any assignment past the due date up until that December 9th. That's a Friday, December 9th at 11:59 p.m. That's the hard deadline for everything. That's the end of the week of finals. I can't push anything past that point. So with all of our assignments, we get unlimited attempts, and there's only a 10% late penalty. So what that means is that whatever grade you want, you can earn whatever grade you want. I don't give grades. All I do, I'm just a facilitator, and all I do, I'm just a record keeper. I just write down what you guys are doing. So I set up the playing field. I try to point you guys in certain directions. I try to link you with whoever you need to be linked with, whether that's support on Pearson, whether that's me, whether that's a classmate, whether that's the tutors. You see what I'm saying? You have a lot of support. You have to speak up. A closed mouth don't get fed, right? But then at the end, again, I don't give grades. All I do is okay, well, you did 70% of this work and 30, and I just keep a record of what you guys do, I crunch the numbers, and then that's it. I do whatever it is that I can to try to encourage you. But I don't give grades. I just write down what you guys have been doing. And that's generally what any professor does. The grading scale, basically the 90s are A's, 80s are B's, 70s are C's. Officially passing any course at Morehouse is getting a C. A C in my class is 72, right? I think we're on the A+, A minus system. I typically don't give out C minuses. Like if somebody's at a C minus, I was like, okay, well, what do we need to do to get them to a C? Because that's 1 point, that's too close to stop somebody. That's not that serious, all right? And I've had, students, where they were talking about another professor, like passing may have been a 72, and the professor gave them 71.89. I'm like, yo, just give them a 1/10 of a point so they can move on. Like, what's wrong with you? That's people's money and time and energy. This space is crazy enough as is. You don't need more of that nonsense, right? Okay, let's pause right there. Are there any questions before we go forward? Okay.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Is it possible to test out of this?
Ooh, okay. That is a good question. I'm going to direct you to the mathematics department chair.
Okay.
Because I think there are ways. It's basically you have to like you said, they probably have you take the placement exam.
Okay, so because what I did is I took it and it messed me up.
Pardon?
Oh, sorry. I said I took the placement exam and it put me in this class because I missed a certain amount of questions on a topic that I know, and then I redid it on my own and it was still right. And so they said they were gonna let me take the placement again, but never did.
I would go to the math office. Like just go to the math office. I think it's in Dansby. You're on campus?
Yes.
Yeah, just go to the math office. And explain that, and I think that they can get you where you need to be.
Okay.
Because I don't want you to waste time.
All right, cool.
Expensive, yeah. Okay. So speaking of time, so this is a 2 credit hour course, right? So that leads us into attendance. With this being 2 credit hours, you're allowed up to 2 unexcused absences. Once you hit that 3rd unexcused absence, and I take attendance every day, every time we meet. Once you get that 3rd unexcused absence, you could be potentially dropped from the course. You may or may not be able to get back in, and you're going to be losing money, a lot of money, which none of us can really stand to do, right? It's not, you don't want to be in that position. So all that you really have to do, I just need you to show up at each class, make your way into my Zoom, because I take attendance as I let you in the Zoom, and then just get your assignment submitted. Again, everything is already available. You can sit down with the tutors and work on this. You can work together. Just get it done, right? And again, the homework and quizzes are really there to get you ready for our exams, right? The homework is only 10% of your overall grade. So it's really just for practice. It's to get you ready. The quizzes are only 10% of your overall grades. The quizzes are like short, they're like 5 questions, and they simulate the exam a lot more closely than the homework does. And then the bulk of your grade comes from those exams. Okay. Unlimited attempts on all assignments, and there's only a 10% late penalty on all assignments. And the hard deadline for all assignments is that Friday, December 9th at 11:59 p.m. So essentially what we're going to be doing is 1 section a week, right? So this week you're responsible for section 1.1 graphs and equations. The full lecture for that is available on my YouTube. Again, I'll show you how to access that momentarily. So there's a lecture that's available. You want to watch that lecture, go through it, take notes as if you're in class, write down your questions, and ask me questions during class time, right? So when we meet again next week, I'm going to expect that you have made your way through section 1.1, and we'll start moving forward into section 1.2. So assignments are due on a weekly basis at Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. But again, you can work on any assignment past the deadline, past the due date or whatever, with a 10% late penalty. So the lecture is available, the homework is available, the quiz is available. The only thing that's not available are the 3 exams and the final. Those come out periodically throughout the semester. And so because this is remote asynchronous, I don't know if I mentioned this to you all or not, but so typically the way I run any session, I take attendance as I let each student into Zoom, and then I'm going to do one of 3 things. Either I'll just go ahead and do the lecture, as much of it as I can in the time. If there aren't questions, I'm going to do one of 3 things. Either I'll go through the lecture, or I'll work as many homework questions as I can. Sometimes I'll just be available like on Zoom, but I'll just sit in silence until you guys have questions, just because I need to rest, or I just need to I don't have the energy. But I'm still available, for questions or whatever. And again, you're not obligated to stay. You just need to get your attendance credit. So once you got into my Zoom, you're good there. And then if you have something else, or if you have a different plan or whatever, it's okay. Those are usually the 3 things that I'll be doing. One of those. Let me see if there's anything else. Man, I'm getting through these much faster. Okay, we're not doing that. Okay. So with the homework, again, you have access to all. Once you gain access to Pearson, I'll show you how to do that momentarily. But all the homework is already assigned. All the quizzes are assigned. The only thing you're waiting on are the exams. The homework and quizzes are there to just prepare you for the exams. Homework is 10% of your overall grade. Quizzes are 10% of your overall grade. Exams, each exam is basically 20% of your overall grade. Unlimited attempts at all assignments with only a 10% late penalty. So we talked about the 3 exams and the comprehensive final. We talked about the makeup policy. Again, you can work on any assignment past the due date with only 10% late penalty. So the last day to withdraw from this course is Monday, October 24th, 2022. All right. The last day of class is Wednesday, November 30th. 2022. And the week of finals week is December 5th through the 9th, 2022, right? Nope. But yeah, a lot of this experience is independent. It's on your own. You know, you just need to get through the material. Okay, there's something else I want to say. It's coming up. Okay. Attendance, we talked about attendance where we're allowed 2 unexcused absences. Once you hit the 3rd unexcused absence, now it's going to start to muck up your money, right? You don't want to be in that boat. Just show up, get your attendance credit, get your assignment submitted, do your best, and I think you'll be fine. Disability services, if you need special accommodations, there's a number here that you can call, and we can make sure that you have the accommodations, the necessary accommodations. Cell phones and laptop, this is remote asynchronous, so it's okay. I really just need you to kind of get the assignment submitted. And then here's the thing on cheating and plagiarism. So there's only so much that we can do given that this is remote asynchronous. If it were up to me, we would have like a testing lab or a testing facility where you would go into that place and take your tests in a testing environment, or I would do that, but it is what it is. So I tried to account for the way everything is set up as best I could. But the thing about cheating, suppose you did cheat, right? And you didn't learn anything and you got like credit for this course. There have been so many times where students have come back and was like, Professor Phifer, you were right. I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, I thought that after I got out of your class, I was like, I'm finally done with math. I never had to look at another math question again. They said that as soon as they went to apply for their first job, the first thing that they gave them at the interview, they gave them a math test, right? So if you've just paid your way or did whatever you need to do, but you didn't learn anything from the experience, now you're totally unequipped, right? And that's crucial. That's critical. You don't want to let something like a math exam get in the way of your destiny, right? So all it is that we're trying to do is equip you so that you can defend yourself, so that you can whatever comes your way, you've expanded your consciousness and you can kind of handle things that come your way, right? Also, there are cases where people have cheated, they graduated, they got their degrees, they got their jobs, and then now they have, family that's dependent on them for this income, but then it surfaces that they cheated. And so then they never got their degree. So then if they don't have the degree, that they're not qualified for that job. So then now they're like, either you go back and get your degree or we're going to take this away. And they still have to deal with it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it's always going to be there. So it's better to just go ahead and face it. And once you face it, you'll see it's not as bad as it seemed. That big, scary rock wall that you were afraid of, when you stop, turn around and face it head on, he was like, oh, Snowball, the Chihuahua? That's who I've been running from this whole time? That was really just Snowball. It wasn't anything or anyone. Thank you. Stop.
Sure thing.
She's listening too hard. But it's not as scary as it seems, right? And so that's the long and short of that. We do the best that we can with it, but you don't want something like this surfacing to come and bite you back, bite you later on, right? But I mean, whatever path you decide to walk, whatever path you choose, we'll walk that path together and we'll just, but it's totally not necessary. Like, I encourage you to work together. I encourage you to like go through the material. It's okay if you sit down with your tutor and work through the stuff. Like, it's totally okay. Because it's still not easy, even with support. It's not that simple. You still kind of need to have a sense of what you're doing. I think I made my exams where they change every time you take it, but it's based on the content that we've been talking about, right? So it's not about the answer. It's about how did we arrive to that conclusion. So that way, if it changes, then all your bases will still be covered. A syllabus is not a contract between instructor and student, but rather a guide to course procedures. The instructor reserves the right to amend the syllabus when conflicts, emergencies, or circumstances dictate. Let me check. Let me see. Okay, we do have some here. So let me do this really quickly. Let me get these guys. PC. So it is important to try to be on here a little bit early so you don't miss important things. Let me just get these guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome all. All right. Okay. So let me let these two in first. Okay. And right, that's still going. Share the screen. Okay. All right. So if you're just joining us, so I do live stream on YouTube. So anything that I've said, it is available on my YouTube. I am streaming live on YouTube right now. It's okay that you're late. We are doing remote asynchronous. So you're not required to be in attendance, but I do need you to get your daily attendance credit. And the way you get your daily attendance credit is by getting into my Zoom. I take attendance as I let students into Zoom. So if you're in the Zoom, you've already got attendance credit. You're not obligated to stay on any given day. You can, once you got your credit, then you can just leave. You don't have to announce anything. And yeah, there's that. So if you want to know what we've been talking about today, you'd have to go to my YouTube. I've been live streaming, so it's there. We basically just went through the syllabus, right? And this last page is a document saying that you've gone through the syllabus, you understand what's expected of you out of the course, and that you'll abide by the rules of the course. I usually have you all fill this out. I want you to just keep it on file for right now. I need to make a Dropbox so you guys can load files there. I just haven't done it yet. Okay, so let's hop back over to Blackboard, to our landing page, right? So you log into Blackboard. This is the first thing that you see. Okay, do you all have any questions before we get into the meat and potatoes? Any questions?
I had a question. I was in the Zoom, like I had logged on the Zoom at 1:58, and it told me the professor he has to open the room. So I'm trying to make like sure that I'm not late, because I have like a picture of me, like it says wait until he starts the actual like room. So I don't want to be marked like late.
Yeah, no, it's okay. You got your attendance credit. You're not late. I mean, you're late, but I didn't mark you as late. And then you can always go back to my YouTube and watch this stream. So the main thing is I just need you to just check in with me each day to get your credit, and you're okay.
So I was supposed to join the actual like YouTube, or do you like want us to
Zoom?
Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom is better.
Zoom. Okay.
Yeah, YouTube is way too behind. Okay. So are there other questions before we do our tour? So let's do a tour of Blackboard, and this is going to be basically our central hub for everything that we need, right? So this is College Algebra 1. This is section 11. When you log into Blackboard, it should look like this. So I'm going to open up this folder. It says College Algebra 1 fall. I'm going to open up that folder. So then you have these 5 folders, right? So the first one is the syllabus. That's what we just went through. So the syllabus is in a couple of locations, but you can click it there. If you made it into my Zoom, that's another important link. You successfully did that, so you're good to go there. Whenever I start to write anything, like any kind of presentations or anything, I'll load them here into this folder number 3 for the PowerPoint lecture slides. Let's see. Okay, so for Pearson, and here, before we do number 4, so here's a link to my YouTube channel. So again, I think for this week, you're responsible for section 1.1. Let's go ahead and open up assignments, right? If we open up assignments, you'll see something that looks like this. And the main one that you need is the first one, all assignments, right? Now, when you click on it right now, you should be prompted for payment. You do have to purchase access to Pearson. We're using Pearson. I'm under the impression that full access runs right at about $110, right? If you need more time, on that payment page, at the bottom of the payment page, there should be a link that says get 14 days of temporary access. You want to go ahead and get started on this work. You don't want to delay, because if you delay too much, it'll pile up, right? And it can be kind of difficult to get caught up. So let's open up all the assignments. And so here's another way to access my YouTube, right? So the very first thing is a link to my YouTube. So, and it should be, let's pull it real quick. So we're responsible for 1.1 graphs. Right here, Professor Phifer's YouTube, if I click on that, and right here, one of 12, you see? So we have the orientation. This is from a year ago, from fall of 2021. You have section 1.1 graphs, so that's the full lecture for that. It should be the full lecture for that section, so on and so on. So I would encourage you to make your way through those lectures, take notes as if you're in class, and then write down your questions. So because this is remote asynchronous, typically the way I do the course is I like for class time to be Q&A, questions and answers, right? So either I'll just go ahead and do the lecture live, but it's no need for me to do that because they're already available. Sometimes I'll go through as many homework questions as I can, which is what I might do that right now. Or sometimes I'll sit on the call in silence and just be on the Zoom call for questions. Because this time I really decided it to be a study session, like Q&A. So with that, would you all rather go through, like start the first lecture or start going through some of the homework together?
The homework.
Homework, anybody for the lecture? Homework, okay.
Homework.
Okay, so once you gain access, now the thing with the homework, every time you get unlimited attempts at all assignments, and the system is set to take your highest score. Let's just kind of start going through it, right? So if it's submitted late, it's a 10% late penalty. For assignment 1, there's 20 questions. Now this is due this upcoming Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. All right, August 21st at 11:59 p.m. You can work on it past that for a 10% late penalty. So we have a solid 25 minutes. Let's try to get through as many questions as we can without the lecture, right? Because that's the main thing that we need for right now. Let's see. So we're gonna zoom out some. I'll zoom in a little bit. Can we get rid of this? Yeah, that's better. So can we do one more? That's too much. That's fine. Okay. Can we suppress that somehow? That would be nice. Okay. So let's go like this. One more. This is gonna have to do. Okay. So this asks us to plot these points on the XY plane and then tell in which quadrant or on what coordinate axis each point lies, right? So this is plotting points. I kind of want to do a demo. So suppose we were working this and we weren't sure what to do and we wanted some help, right? If I can get it to work. So if I bring that back, that doesn't help. Okay, let me change Zoom. Okay, there it is. So suppose we're working on this and we don't know what to do, right? So for the following reason is why I encourage, this is why I'm using Pearson. Because of basically this blue toolbar at the bottom where we have this get more help. So first you have this ask my instructor. When you click on ask my instructor, it's going to take a screenshot of the very question you're working on and email it to me. And you can type your question. So then I can see it and I'll basically load the screenshot to my device and make a video response, load it to YouTube and send you the link, right? So that's how I answer questions. Where it says textbook, what that is a digital copy of the actual hard copy book, right? So you don't have to lug around this actual device. As long as you can get on the internet, you have the full book right there with most of the homework questions. Some of the questions have animations that go along with them or videos. And then, but the most powerful tool to me, to help me solve this, I don't really recommend that one. You can try it out. I see how you like it. But the most powerful tool to me is this view an example. All right, let me see if I can try to just fill up the screen. Just increase the font size. Nope. Let me see. I think I gotta do one more. Here, let me put it back to where it was at. So if I click on view an example, right, we get something like this. Can I zoom in like this? That'll work, right? So with the view an example, what it does, it basically gives us an explanation of most of the homework questions, not all of them, right? So if you're nervous about this, you could be sitting down with a tutor and going line by line and all of this. You can ask me questions during class, right? So class is like a time for Q&A. You're welcome to attend my other sessions as well. I'm on the same Zoom call from 9 to 9:50 on Monday and Wednesdays, and then from 1 to 5 on Monday and Wednesdays. So, you know, And so each question comes with an explanation. It says 5 parts remaining. When you hit continue, it gives you an explanation on the reasoning or the logic behind the question. So it explains each question for you. All right. And basically it gives you the same question with different numbers. And that tool to me is very powerful, right? So if you really want to know the backstory on why that is the way it is, which is, the main thing for this experience, then that tool of help me solve this is very powerful, right? All right, so if we're plotting the point -5, 6, right? So the -5 is our x coordinate and the 6 is our y coordinate, right? So the x is side to side and y is up and down, right? So if we're plotting -5, that means we'll go left 5 and up 6. So then should we be in quadrant 1, 2, 3, or 4? If we go left 5 and up 6, should the point be in quadrant 1, 2, 3, or 4? Quadrant 1 is the upper right of the coordinate axis. Quadrant 2 is the upper left. Quadrant 3 is the bottom left. Quadrant 4 is the bottom right. So if we go left 5 and up 6, we should be in quadrant 2. 2, right? So if we're in quadrant 2, should this be A, B, C, or D? Hopefully you can see it. It's going to be B, right? That's the only one that's in quadrant 2. Okay, let's try another one. Which quadrant does, so if we went left 5 and up 6, again, we're in quadrant 2. So we're just going to click on that one and go on to the next one or the next part. So now, if we're at the point 2, 0, 2, 0 says what? We go to the right by 2, and then 0 means we don't go up or down, right?
It will be D.
D, right? So we're on the x-axis. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that one. Right, and you kind of get the flow of this. Let me see. What axis? We said that's the x-axis. Let's keep going. -6, -4, what's that result? That one I think is what, D?
Yeah.
And what quadrant is that?
3.
3, okay. Let's see. All right, let's go. We got a solid, let's do 10 minutes, right? So that was the first question. All right, it says this one says find the distance between P and Q and the coordinates of the midpoint. Let's go ahead and do this really quickly. So now, the college experience to me, I mean, it is a race, but to me, the race of life is more about a marathon instead of a sprint. You sprint, you're gonna get burnt out. You can't sprint the entire time, right? So that's life. But then now for math, for this course, to me, this is all about simplification, right? We're just trying to simplify things as much as possible. And so the best way to kind of simplify this is to be organized. If you're not organized, if you don't have take good notes, if you don't, when you need the information, you're not going to be able to find it, right? But the more organized you are, and the better your experience will be, right? So I say that to say, you want to as you work through the homework, you want to have a copy of every homework assignment you do with any supporting work and that final answer in a box. And that's for your records, because there's nothing stopping you from using it again later unless you don't have it. And it doesn't do you any good to take somebody else's notes, because the answer will be right there, but you won't recognize it because you haven't develop an intimate relationship with the material, right? So if you borrow somebody's notes, it only does so much, versus if you create it yourself, now he's like, oh, wait a minute, I saw this, I did this the other day, and it's right here. But you won't be aware of it if you don't make it yourself, right? So let's get a copy of this, and we need to write some stuff here. So with the organization being neat and organized, hopefully you have a notebook, right? What I would do, I would have a section somewhere that's easy to find where you keep all of your formulas. You have a formula section. So because with this one question, we have 2 formulas off the rip. We have the distance formula and the midpoint formula. We go through these formulas in my lecture that's on YouTube, right? Now, you're not obligated to go through those. I do encourage you to go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's a shameless plug. It doesn't cost you anything. That's how we're going to be communicated. So that way, whenever I go live, you should get a notification. And it's just for awareness. So that way, you know, you might have the same question that somebody else had, right? And you just want to be aware of what I'm posting. And even if you don't want to be aware, just go ahead and subscribe anyway, and you can suppress your notifications. I am a gamer. I haven't been using this channel for gaming. I haven't decided to use this one for gaming or to link it, but sometimes I do want to game, and like sometimes I do. There are a lot of applications of things that we talk about that I use in the gaming. Like I do these. I play this 5-on-5 battle royale. It's called Mobile Legends, right? And you have a team of 5 versus another team of 5. But you have 6 different roles that you have to fit into 5 slots. So that's like combinations right there. That's math, right? And so I'm always trying to get my teammates, because I can play all the roles. And so if I can get the last pick, then I know I can fill whatever the 2 necessary, like if it's assassin and tank, I have a character that can be assassin and tank, right? So that's counting, which is math. But it's very simple, but then, you know, my teammates don't get it. I don't have time to explain it in the heat of battle. You see what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. But that's my YouTube. So let's take, we have a solid 10 minutes, you know, let's take 10 minutes and let's walk through this. So let me get a copy of this. And I just need it from like here. Actually, let me delete this, because I'm gonna have the label. Yeah, it is a good idea to identify like your work, so you know where you're getting it from. So when you go to reference it later, you know how to find it. And these questions, these come directly from the text, right? Where's the question ID? So you see where it says question 2, 1.1.5. This means if you go into the text at the end of section 1.1, this is question number 5, right? Now, notability, come on. Okay, I don't like that. Let's cancel. Let's go like this. Like that. Come on. There we go. Just trying to let it load. Okay. All right, so let's kind of take a moment to kind of look at some of the details of this question. All right. So, you know, what was this? That's fine for now. So we were saying that like this question has 2 formulas, right? So if you had your notebook and you had your formula section, there are 2 formulas associated with this question. So I usually like to do my formulas. We can do the formulas in green, right? So then the distance formula, so the distance between 2 points, P and Q, this comes out of Pythagorean's theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I think I go through those details in my lecture. So the formula for the distance formula is going to be, here, let's do it like this. So this is the distance formula. All right. So the distance between 2 points P and Q is going to be the square root of, it's basically x2. Let's clean it up. This is x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, right? So if you had your formula sheet, that's one of the formulas that you would add there. This also asks for the midpoint, right? So the midpoint formula. That's fine. Oops. So the midpoint formula as halfway between 2 points. So midpoint formula is essentially the average of your x's, average of your y's. So that's going to be x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. So if you had a formula sheet, you would add these 2 formulas to that sheet, and you want to have them, you know, ready to go at a moment's notice, right? So let's do like this. Hang on. I'm just going to shrink these down and just kind of move them over to the sides. Right? So something like that. Okay. So we're asked to find the distance between these 2 points and find the coordinates of the midpoint. I think by the time we finish this one, we're going to call it a day. All right. So I'm just going to move these over. All right, those are the two formulas, right? So then for part A, so for part A, so the distance between P and Q, that's going to be, now, whenever I have a set of ordered pairs, this P and Q, like a set of ordered pairs, I typically go ahead and label them automatically. So I'll go like X1, Y1, X2, Y2, right? So this is our X1, that's our Y1, X2, Y2, right? So then once you label them, it makes it much more simple to plug it into the formula. So then my X2 is going to be 7 minus X1 is 7 squared plus my Y2 is 8 minus 7 squared, right? So then if we continue, 7 minus 7 is 0. So that's going to be 0 squared plus 1 squared. That's going to be the square root of 0 plus 1. That's going to be the square root of 1, which is just 1, right? So the distance between these 2 points is going to be 1, all right? So let's put that in the box. This is our final answer for that part. Okay, and then for part B, it says the midpoint between these, halfway between. So we do the average of the x's, come as the average of the y. So that's going to be 7 plus 7 divided by 2, and that's going to be 7 plus 8 divided by 2. Right? And again, this is the midpoint. I'm gonna label it as a midpoint between P and Q. So that's gonna be 7 comma, what, 7.5? Go. All the way. Oh, I couldn't stop it. Man, okay. So let's paste. All right. So we got the distance between these 2 points is 1, and we got the coordinates of the midpoint is 7 comma 7.5. So now with those results, let's hop back over to Pearson and hopefully we can still submit it. Okay, looks good. I'm gonna put a 1 there. And then, come on. The coordinates of the midpoint, it says an ordered pair. Okay, we got 7 comma 7.5. Use integers or decimals for any numbers in the expression. Okay, okay, that is a good place to stop, right? So let's hop back here. Ways. So, so for right now, you are responsible for, I think it was section 1.1, graphs of equations. My recommendation, you want to watch the lecture on my YouTube that corresponds to this section. Take notes as if you're in class, and then complete the corresponding homework and quiz. It's going to be due this upcoming Sunday at 11:59. And that's essentially it. And you definitely want to go ahead and gain full access to Pearson. You access it through Blackboard. Are there any other questions before we go our separate ways? Okay. If there aren't any burning questions, we're going to end the session here. I'll see you guys again.
Hold. I got a question. So is every assignment that is assigned that it's due Friday, right? Every Friday?
Every assignment is due every Sunday night.
I mean, I said Friday, my fault, Sunday. That's what I said.
Yeah. All assignments are due Sunday night, 59 p.m. And the hard deadline for all assignments, that means extensions and everything, is Friday, December 9th at 11:59 p.m. But generally speaking, I make them do Sundays at 11:59 p.m. We get unlimited attempts at all assignments, and there's only a 10% late penalty for all assignments. And the system is set to show your highest score. Any other burning questions, comments, or concerns before we part? Okay. Let me check the chat really quickly to make sure we got everything there. Because you can also type your questions in the chat. So if I check the chat, let me see. Let me stop the screen share real quick. Okay. So in the chat, thank you. Stop. Okay. Same here. Same. Yeah. I know you guys were in the waiting room. So yeah, I meant to check attendance at like 2:15 again. Like basically what I do is when class starts at 2, I'll check it. I'll get whoever's there, and then I'll leave. I'll get that in just a moment. I'll leave and I try to check it again around 2:15, but a lot of times I forget. Right now I'm not giving people late. I'm not marking people as late. So you all got full attendance credit. Let me finish out my roster. So I was missing some students today, but again, I take attendance as I let you guys into the Zoom. So if you've made it into my Zoom, that means you've gotten your attendance credit. Yeah. It's okay. I didn't mark anybody late today. So for Pearson, to access Pearson again, let me share my screen. So to access Pearson, if we go to our Blackboard landing page, so when you log into Blackboard, it should look like this. You open up this folder. You go down to folder number 4 where it says assignments. You click on that. And the main one you need is the first one that says all assignments. You want to click there. And then once you click on that, you're going to be prompted for payment and stuff of that nature. And then once you've done it successfully, it'll look like this. Okay. Let me go check the chat one more time.
My Pearson is asking me like to provide a username and password.
Have you used Pearson before?
Oh, no, sir.
You might have to just create one as a student. Yeah. Okay, gentlemen, any other questions, comments, and concerns? All right. So on that note, we're going to end the session here. And from one beautiful mind to another, enjoy the rest of your day. Okay, guys.
Thank you, Professor.
Peace.
Thank you, Professor.
Appreciate it.
Who's the Naruto person? Pain. That's our Pain.
Thank you.
Yeah. Take care. Yep.